kind of on a similar line in that you've written these lyrics and they get picked up by someone and then changed. How do you feel about that? How do you deal with that? And I think also there was a question about, are they ever recorded in the same key or the same music that you originally wrote?
Yeah, lyric. I've had lyrics changed a couple of times, and you know, if the artist is an artist that sells 1 million records and is going to get on the radio, I'm quite happy to see that happen. If you know what I mean, if it's Timmy playing the 5 and dime down at the corner, then I'm not going to let him change the lyric. I'm probably not even going to show him the song ever. If somebody wants to change a lyric, I suppose it's a case-by-case basis, but you know, I'm supporting a family with my job here, and it's just part of the job. You know, if I build houses and this is how I build them, but my client wants the bathroom over here, I can make that change for him.
I'm a musical prostitute. So basically, you know, if anybody wants to cut my song, they're welcome to it. As long as it's not some crazy, outrageous, completely sideways change. And they want to put their name on it because of it. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to horn in on something. And, you know, I wrote a song with me and Joanna Cotton and Melissa Manchester wrote a song with Beyonce. Well, Beyonce wanted to put her name on it and not change anything. And you know, it's just because she's who she is, we had to concede. You know, you have to kind of concede. I don't like it, but we had to concede to that. You know what I'm saying? And so, because she's a big name. And the thing is that if it's going to make money, I'll sit back and go, hey, you know. But, you know, I'm not really a stickler about ifs, ands, and buts changing, whatever, those things, you know. So
I think the reason why we like to write with artists is because we have them in the room and they can tell us what they want to sing about, what they don't want to sing about, what they want to say, and we just want to help them get on the radio. So if I'm writing a song, one time I wrote this song for Winona Judd, I didn't write it for her, but she wanted to record it. Well, it had, I Can See Daddy Load the Trunk. She didn't have, in the second line, she didn't have a father figure. She didn't like her dad at the time or whatever, but she took that out. Mm-hmm. And so it didn't sing right to me, it didn't sound right to me that way, but it sold 6 million copies. So I was thinking like, well, you know, we'll let her do that.
I remember I had a guy come up to me one time, and this is a little off the subject, but you know, it's after Walk Away Joe was a big hit, you know, and I went to play Canadian Music Week. And he comes up to me after the show and he goes, man, you know that song would have been better if you'd have done this, that, the other. You know, it's like, right, you know. I said, well, you're a little late, man. I said. But, you know, some people, they got to say what they got to say, you know.
In this area, where can demos be made, and what is the average cost of having it done? And also, what kind of guitar are you playing?
This is a composite acoustic, and it's at Peavy actually bought them, but they left them alone. They let them do the thing. But it's composite guitar, and you can paddle a boat with this. I mean, it's like, you know, it's one of those kind of things where regular guitars, they change in the weather, everything. This will never change. I can go down to the beach and play this, or I can play in the mountains. It's the same thing. So,
studios in town, if you were going to hire a band, you know, doing a demo means getting a band together, and so there's a process there that may or may not be worth your while outside of Nashville. If you're trying to pitch a song to Nashville, it's really tough to expect players who aren't a part of that scene to play a demo like the machine expects to hear a demo. Am I making sense to y'all? You know, it's just so
they're used to hearing what they're hearing.
They're used to hearing what they're hearing. So if you wanted to demo, I would recommend places like Larry Beard in Nashville or County Q in Nashville, and they will help you. You can send them your work tape, and they will help you sort of come up with a demo, either by staying, you can stay here, or you can go up there and do it with them, but they'll help you put a band together. They're legitimate, good business people, and they won't steer you wrong.
They'll be finding a lead singer and everything.
Yeah.
They won't get over on you. These guys are professionals. They have lots of people coming to them. They're very reputable. And so, yeah, I would recommend that. Guys, I would recommend if you're doing a country song, you know, come to Nashville. As far as home demo situations, if you're just doing a guitar vocal, you know, you want to get like a garage band, a good mic, make sure it's clean, it's clear, you can understand all the words, and also make sure that it just sounds good. You know what I mean? It just sounds passable. So.
While we're on the topic of that, how much does it cost to have a song written? If you were a musician in the audience who isn't necessarily a songwriter, how much might they anticipate? And then also we had some questions about the songwriters in the audience wanting to know about how to develop a pricing model for themselves.
Okay.
Like to write a song for hire? I don't know. That's not really what we do at all.
Well, I've done it, but what I've done it for is like in a consulting form, where if I know I'm teaching somebody and I write them a song, they'll pay me to teach them. Basically, I don't put my name on that song because they've paid me, and I know unless it's a great song, then I'll go, hey, don't pay me, that's the way it works. You know what I'm saying? You have to do that, and because we got so many people coming at us wanting us to work with them, and we don't have enough hours in the day to do that. So, we're busy trying to do, get songs, we're doing our thing. But going back to the question, anyway, I was going to say something else, so I forget what I was going to say. Oh well. On to you.
I just think that, like, if y'all would work together, okay, find out who plays music, find out who's got a studio. Those of you with a studio, you need to learn how to do it. You need to work on songs. If you don't have enough songs to demo on your own, you need to find more songs. Do like I did, my friend Gordon did. When I first met him, $40 is what he wanted to demo my song. And we got a writing relationship that lasted until he died. So, if you've got somebody around here that will work together, I would try to get those glorified work tapes, is what we call them in Nashville. And I would really try to get localized energy going. And then I would also, there's people you can mail your songs to up in Nashville that will do the demos, track guys that can do pretty good work for not too much, but I would try to get a really good demo. And I would try to make sure the song is structured right. It's okay if the lyrics aren't always exactly right, because you can rewrite them. But once you get that demo, you can write other songs in that demo, But you want to make sure the song is structured right.
And another thing, too, is you always want to get the tracks without vocals on them as well. So later on, when you want to pop down in a studio down here, if you did lyric changes, you could do that in a local studio. So you always want do the song, and then have them send you the track as well. So, but one thing I was going to say about the equipment, GarageBand is a great way. If you want to learn how to put things down, there's a thing in Apple called GarageBand. Now, GarageBand has all tutorials online. You can go to Apple Tutorials, and it teaches you from the ground up how to use it. And it's very hands-on. It shows you how to set everything up and how to use it. It's very thorough, so that's a good thing to have. So.
What is your opinion of the music future of Louisiana, and do you think it's still necessary to go to a place like Nashville or New York or Washington?
Yeah, I think Greg is right. I live between two cities now, and I'm happy about that. This is my home. But I lived in Nashville full-time for 12 years. I think that if you want to climb mountains, you have to go where the mountains are. And if you don't want to have that conversation, there are ways to be a songwriter and perhaps even find success commercially by not going to the mountains. But LA, Nashville, and New York are the places. Atlanta.
Yep, Atlanta's for hip-hop.
And Miami.
R&B, yeah, for sure.
And Miami for Latin. But anyway, I just say that to you. It's almost like, it's just a moot point almost. Now what's the future of music here? It's enormous. It's gorgeous. It's great. There's great. The potential's not but up right now. It's great. And I grew up here, and it's a great place to be nurtured. And I think you can bring some of the professionalism into town. We're going to try and do that.
That's something.
Hey guys, how many people thought, who'd ever thought they're shooting as many movies? New Orleans is now the #1 place where they shoot movies, okay? It's overtaken Los Angeles. I mean, it's crazy, So let's do the same thing for music. Let's set that infrastructure up for music, for writers, writing for film, and you can still have the resources of LA, Nashville, and New York, by doing that. But the same thing happened. We watched it blow up and happen here. Well, the same thing can happen with the right people involved, where it's guided and structured, and we set it up. And then once it's become what it's become, we let it go and let it become New Orleans, and let it become uniquely New Orleans. just for instance, you know, in Nashville, we get up, we start the sessions at 10 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock and 6, and then we're pretty much done. Well, New Orleans is a little bit later city. We get up, drink our coffee by 11 and 12 o'clock. We'll get in the studio at 2 o'clock maybe. 2 o'clock, 6 o'clock, since it's a late, more the music's kind of funky and stuff, it's more of a nighttime vibe. So you're cutting stuff at night, so you have 2 6s and 10s there. And now I'm talking about union schedule. I'm going, when I say 2 o'clock, whenever you have a session, the players come in, they play from 10 to 1, then they take a lunch break. From 2 to 5, then they take another break. Then from 6 to 9, then take a break or go home after that, 6 to 9. They're 3-hour blocks. Well, the same thing would work in New Orleans, the same kind of thing, except we'd start probably a little later doing that, you know, because it seems to be that the thing here, so.
One thing that Jim did that I thought was really interesting, Jim was learning about Nashville. He learned about the Nashville Songwriter Association International, and he said, well, that's weird that we don't have a group in Nashville. Correct me if I'm wrong, and he goes, calls up there and says, hey, how do you start a group? And so he just started the Nashville Songwriter Association in the New Orleans chapter. And then he started bringing writers down. And he kept those relationships with those writers still today that he met here. And some of them wouldn't write with him at first. But now they're calling him up.
Slidell doesn't have a chapter of NSAI.
And North Shore, you could be a North Shore chapter.
I'm telling you, somebody out there or a bunch of you get together and start the idea of a chapter of the Nashville Songwriters Association. They have hundreds of chapters throughout the country. There's nothing over here in Slidell and Mandeville, and nobody's driving to the meetings in New Orleans. So they would be thrilled to have you guys start one right here.
North Shore NSAI would be great.
And it puts you in touch with the professional commercial community of country music songwriting. That's not, the advantage is yours. You're not doing them a favor. You're doing yourself a favor.
And believe me, they are loaded up with resources, man. They'll give you more stuff than you can ever read. And, you know, and all the books that we're talking about. I mean, they have all this information. And plus, they're really behind. They're really 100% for the writer. They go to Washington for us. They will lobby for us because, you know, like I said, we're a quiet bunch. We're too busy writing songs to be, you know, up there. But not. We shouldn't be. But we are. But we've been that way. But now it's changing. So finally,
We have a question about ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC, and how that might play in the songwriting.
Okay. ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC are what we call performing rights organizations. They collect our money for us. They collect it from radio, from performance, mechanicals, which are record sales and any sales of stuff. Live, CSAC, they collect on live, like if a song's played in a stadium and I register it, they collect money from actual live venues, concerts. If somebody plays my song in concert, they're collecting money from the concerts as well, where the artist is singing. That's what they do. They're there to collect money and to look out for us. And it's kind of, you know, it's one of those things where they make a lot of money on the float. And there's a lot of interest and a lot of money. We all go, oh. You know, we talk about this a lot, but it's the lesser of all evils. We have to have it. Now, on the digital side of things, we have Sound Exchange. Sound Exchange was appointed by the government a while back to be the only major, am I right about this? They were appointed to collect our digital monies from iTunes, from what have you, you know what I mean? From any digital sale out there, so.
I have a question from somewhere in our audience. We have a senior in high school, and he said that he is chasing, or he or she is chasing their musical dream. And I wonder if you could each give them maybe, say, your top 3 pointers for how, or what you think that you should do next.
Okay, you know, there's a thing I want to say about this too. If you appoint yourself king, and this is how I run my life. If you appoint yourself king, you're king until otherwise proven wrong. Right? So what you do is you appoint yourself king or queen of what you're doing, and you get out there and you become that songwriter, you do that thing, and people go, well, you're that songwriter out here. Because you've created your own life, and you've created that. That's what I'm talking about, creating your world. And you own it, and people respect you, and they know you as filling that space. And so that's what I would say to young guys. Go out there and get as good as you can get and blow people away and become that, and use social media to light you up. I mean, that's what it's there for, so.
He's a senior? She's a senior? Yeah, I would say go to college. And I mean, you can go to Belmont, you can go to Berklee College of Music, you can go anywhere you want, but there's a socialization that's going to happen to you over the next 4 years that will aid you in your entry into the network, the social network of the music industry. Plus, it's a good idea just to have it, an education, by the way. Show up. This is the advice that was given to me by Larry John McNally, a great songwriter, long before I even began to go to Nashville. He said two pieces of advice. Show up, no matter what it is. A lunch meeting, a co-write, the studio, a thing like this. All of you deserve to be recognized for getting up early on Saturday morning and showing up today. It says worlds. It says worlds. Show up and be open to the outcome. Don't bring your preconceptions. Don't bring your expectations and ask that they be met. Be open to the outcome of whatever the song is that you're going to write that day. You know, if I may show up wanting to write a song about the sunshine and Greg's going through a horrible thing in his life, well, that might be what we're going to write. And I'd be foolish not to go with it because that's the more powerful idea in the room. Be open to the outcome of the meetings of the people that you'll meet. And then I'd say to you too, as you go along, whatever it is, whether it's the bartender or the doorman or the secretary at a record company, be really nice to people because they're going to be, some of them are going to be the people in charge as time goes on.
You see the same people going up as you do going down. You know what I mean? So that's
the toes you step on today could be connected to the ass you'll have to kiss in a few years.
You know, going to school at Belmont's a great college. It's expensive. If you went to a 2-year junior college somewhere around here that would be economical. You could go down to New Orleans and you could hang out and listen to all the music there and meet all the people playing on Bourbon Street and watch all the great piano players down there do their stuff. It's a different style than anywhere else in the world. I wished when I was 18 that I would have spent a year in New Orleans. I wish I would have spent a year around that same age in Miami with Latin music. I wish I could have went to New York and worked at a pizza place and learned how to make great New York pizza. That would have stayed with me for the rest of my life. What you do over the next 4 years, and it doesn't matter if you're 80, is going to stay with you the rest of your life, you know? And so I'm making those choices of learning as much as you can about life. Now you can read a book about New Orleans and read a book about San Francisco. You read about somebody's adventures and somebody's travels, but getting it inside of you, that those things that you get to see that you're going to be writing about, the musical styles you're going to be using, will stay with you the rest of your life. Go at it as adventurous and as hard as you can.
I want to say one more thing, and I don't know if I said this already, but you are uniquely you, and like I said a while ago, you have a license to do what you do. And what takes the ego out of this for everybody is that you are uniquely you, and nobody can be you, no matter how hard they try. They may sound close to you. People may say, oh, you sound like so-and-so or whatever. You can never be that person, you know. And that's the thing, you know, just take comfort in that you're one of a kind. Every one of you guys are one of a kind. And what you bring to the table is unique. And so you got to, that when you get into a writing situation, just feel comfortable. Don't feel like, you know, when you walk into a thing, don't feel inferior at all or superior. You know what I mean? It's really we're all the same, you know, here. So we've got our own identity. So.
And put a big B on the music business degree, you know, be sure it might be a business music degree because it really is important to keep track of your business side of this, you know.
It is, absolutely. And that's the other thing, you got to be smart about the business and learn about the business end of things.
You know, this will sum it all up. Somebody told me, it ain't the music friendship, it's the music business.
Right.
So.
I think that's about all the time that we have for questions. I mean, I do really like the idea of opening it up to a forum of discussion for all of you, and maybe you can also share ideas with each other. I don't know, did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, just that I think that, again, I think that the future of New Orleans is unbelievably bright. With the movie business burgeoning like it is, we're going to need all hands on deck. We're going to need great writers. We're going to need people that are here doing stuff. And to stay here, I mean, and to go to Nashville, learn the craft, go to LA, know what's going on, but to also come back here and to come back here like people go back to Nashville. You know, they come back here and they build something. You know what I mean? And so that's what we're trying to do. In the next 10 to to 20 years. We're gonna build a music business, a working business that's equal. We're gonna be using a lot of stuff from other cities to begin with, but it will be autonomous at some point and become what it becomes and be self propelling. So.
I really hope you all will join me in thanking these gentlemen for coming in.
Thank you guys for coming out, man. Really good. And we're going to have this again sometime.
On a business note, this is not the music friendship, this is the music business.
Yeah, you got it.
Greg and I have CDs for sale at this table for the small price of $10 a disc. Please go over there and check it out if you're interested in taking home some music. Thanks for being here.
One other thing I want to say, guys, or start to say, we are going to do this again. We don't have a schedule, but it'll be online, and we're going to have a blog probably put up, and so it'll be on there when we're going to do this again. But thank you guys for the support. This means a lot, seeing all you guys coming out here, man. This is really great. So, yeah. See you next time.